So welcome to lecture 2. So in this lecture we'll talk about binomial distributions, and before we enter into binomial distribution, let's talk about a concept that's commonly used in binomial distributions: permutations and combinations. So permutations and combinations. So what is a permutation and what is a combination? So before we discuss permutation combination, let's discuss the term factorial. So the factorial of a number, for example, let's say if a number is n, so we write it as n factorial, is the multiple of all the values that are before it until 1. So for example, if you take 3 factorial, so 3 times 2 times 1. 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So this is an example of the word factorial. Now what is the permutation and combination? So to understand binomial distribution, it's important to understand what permutations and combinations can represent. So let's start with permutation. So the number of permutations of n things taken k at a time is written as npk, so which is defined as n factorial over n minus k factorial. So what is this n factorial times n minus k factorial represent? For example, let's say I have 10 letters. So let's say I have 6 letters. So 6 letters I have A, B, C, D, E and F. So I want to make a 3-letter word, right? How many out of this can I make it out? So permutation here takes into consideration that you are not going to repeat the same object over and over again. You're only going to take the number of ways that are possible to arrange a 6-letter word into 3-letter words. So 6 letters into 3-letter words. So how many ways can I choose the 3-letter words? So let's take a simpler example so that it becomes easier. Let's take a 4-letter word. Out of that, let's take the possibility of 2-letter words. So I can take AB, I can take BC, I can take CD, I can take DA, I can take DB, and also I can take, so you have AB, BC, CD, DA and DB. Next, is there any other format that we can take here? So notice that we have taken AB, BC, CD, AD and BD. So these are the 5 ways we can arrange a 4-letter word into 2 letters. Now this brings the question, how many is there a possibility to calculate this value directly? So that value calculation is done by permutations. So that value calculation is done by permutations. So we have taken, remember that we have taken A, B, C and D. Out of this we are taking 2-letter words, AB, AC, AD, BC, BD and CD. So these are the ones. I'm sorry, I have not taken AC. So there are 6 2-letter words that are possible. Let's try and understand the same way with permutations now. What are the total number of n things here represents the total number of things that are available. Out of these, how many are you taking at a single time? That is the 2-letter word that we are taking here. Now let's try and understand how to calculate permutation. So here we are taking 4 total letters. Out of that we are only taking 2 at a time. So it's written as 4p2 can be written as 4 factorial by 4 minus 2 factorial. So that is 4 factorial by 2 factorial. So 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 2 times 1. So 2 2 cancel, 1 1 cancel. So that gives you a total of 12 ways. Now why did we get 12 here? Remember that the same AB can also be arranged as BA, AC can also be arranged as CA, AD can also be arranged as a DA, BC as CB, BD as DB, and CD as DC. Here a permutation also considers repetition and different order. Remember that when we take two things, we are taking it at different ways. So permutations also consider repetition and different order. So considers different order. Let me write it this way. So permutation also considers order. What if I don't want order, but I want only specifically a single? When I choose 4, out of that if I choose 2 letters, how many 2-letter words can I make exactly according to the order, or how many am I choosing out of that, brings out the term combination. So how do you define combination? So combination can be defined as NCK, it's written as NCK, where you are taking n things, the number of combinations here. Remember that the last one is the number of permutations, meaning that number of possibilities. But both here are combined, meaning that the order is also considered. But here we are only taking the combinations. So let's say NCK is written as n factorial over n minus k factorial times k factorial. That's the only extra change, is we are dividing extra k factorial. So NCK can also be written as NPK over k factorial. So this is another way of writing the combination formula. So what are combinations used for? Let's say in a class I have 5 students and I am putting 2 students in a committee. How many possibilities or how many combinations of students can I get? So here n represents 5 and k represents 2. So here when we choose this concept, we have to choose NCK, because here when we write here, we can write as 5, C2 can be written as 5 factorial over 5 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. That becomes 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1 times 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So 3 times 2 times 1, 3 times 2 times 1 gone. So 2 ones, 2 twos. So that is 5 times 2, which is 10. So there are 10 combinations. Let's say I have students A, B, C, D and E. What are the two possibilities, two number committees that I can make? So one is A comma B, A comma C, A comma D and A comma E. B comma C, B comma D, B comma E, C comma D, C comma E and D comma E. So notice that 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 4 10. So there is a total of 10 combinations of students that you can make. Now this brings up the question, which time to choose combination and which time to choose permutation. So there are 2 different cases that we use. One is a matched study pair and an unmatched study design. In a matched study pair, we will have to consider the idea that in the matched study pair, order change counts as a unique possibility. So even the order change is counted as a unique possibility. But in an unmatched steady pair, order change is not considered as unique. For example, if you choose a 5-letter word, for example, from a 5 letters, if you use a 2-letter word, AB is a different letter from BA. This is the idea in matched steady pair, which means that both are combined here. Even the order change is a unique quantity. AB is different from BA. In an unmatched steady pair, when you have 5 students and you are choosing 2 students out of them, it doesn't matter how you choose the students A comma B or B comma A. These students themselves are unique from each other, and there is no pair uniqueness from each other. So one way of thinking about matched steady pair and an unmatched steady pair is to look at, let's say, you can take the idea behind a simple example of genders. So when you take a gender, when you take a familial, when you take a gender issue here, so when you take, for example, we want to identify 5 people who are with ages 50 to 59 with schizophrenia in a community, and we want to match these subjects with normal controls of the same gender and age living in that community. Then in that case we use the matched steady pair. For an unmatched steady pair, we will have to consider another example where you are taking separate parts of studies and separate controls, which means that the study cases are separate from the control that you are taking there. So which means that whichever order you take them does not matter. So that's the difference between when you take a matched steady pair and an unmatched steady pair. Now this brings up the question, let's try some problems so that it becomes easier to understand. So there is 3 schizophrenic women, ages 50 to 59, and 6 eligible controls live in that same community. Now remember that both are connected, which means that this is a matched steady pair, and they are asking you how many ways are there to select 3 controls. So you have 6 total, and out of that you are only selecting 3. So n is 6, k is 3. Now how many ways are there here? Notice that they are the same community, which means that they are linked. So this is a matched steady pair, which means that this is NPK. So now this becomes 6p3, which becomes 6 factorial by 6 minus 3 factorial, which is 6 times. So you can write it as 6 factorial over 3 factorial. So you can write it as 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 times 2 times 1. So 3 times 2 times 1. So that becomes 6 times 5 times 4. So that is 6 times 5 is 30, 30 times 4 is 120. So there are 120 ways of selecting the controls. So let's take another example. Now again you have 4 schizophrenic women, and there are 7 eligible controls living in the same community. How many ways are there of selecting 4 controls? Now remember that n here is 7 and k here is 4. So pause the video right here and try to solve this problem. Notice that it's in the same community, which means it's permutation, so NPK. So is there an easier way to calculate NPK and NCK? One way that is used is to use the formula in a different manner. So when you take NPK, the formula is n factorial by n minus k factorial. So the other way for calculating is, for example, let's say I want 6p3. How would I calculate 6p3? Is calculate the multiple from 6 3 times. So that is 6 times 5 times 4. That's it. Notice that 3 times is the value that you're calculating in reverse. So 6 is 1, 2 and 3. That's it. So that gives you 120. You can try another example as well. For example, 5p2 is you start with 5 and you go back twice. So once is done already. So twice. That's it. 20. In the same way, if you want to calculate 4p1 is once. That's it. 4. If the two things that you have to remember is np0 is 1, npn is n factorial. So npn is n factorial and np0 is 1. So these are the two common formulas to remember. And np1 is n. So these are the formulas to remember for permutations. Is there any other way for calculating combinations? So nck is commonly also written as, in parenthesis we write it as nk. Why do we write it this way? One way of thinking about this is to look at the way we can calculate nck. For example, let's say I want to calculate 4c2. I can write it as 4,2, and in the top write multiples until 2 times. So that is 4 times 3, that's it. Now calculate the denominator's factorial, 2 times 1. So this gives you 6. This is how you can calculate 4c2. You can try 5c4. Again, remember 5, 4. So 5 in reverse 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have written 4 times in the backward direction, and in the bottom part take the factorial. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So which becomes 5. So this is one way of calculating the values. So nk can be written as n times n minus 1 times and so on n minus k over k factorial. So this is another formula for n factorial. So just write from the variable on the top the same number of times as the denominator, twice. So in reverse twice, we are writing 4 times 3 twice, and then we are writing in the denominator 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So this is how you can use 2 npk and nck. So try some examples. So try these two problems. So pause the video right here and try to solve these problems. So in these problems they are asking you whether it's a permutation or a combination. So use the data, analyze the data clearly, and try to understand how you can select from the data and is it a permutation or combination, and try to solve the problem. So pause the video right here and try to solve this problem.